Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 North American International Auto Show. It's great to be here to welcome you and to introduce today's special guest. Before I do that, there are two people that I also want to acknowledge that are here. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, whose district Cobo Hall is in, and our Secretary of State, Ruth Johnson, who does such a wonderful job with the I know many of you were at the Consumer Electronics Show last week. Now, they may have glitz and glamour in Las Vegas, but here in Detroit, we have grit and determination. This is the birthplace of the auto industry. It's where the auto manufacturers are, where the innovators are, and where the best workers in the world build the best product in the world. This is still the premier auto show on the planet, and where the future of mobility meets the pavement. It is, guys. I'm proud of it. Just feel the energy in this room. You know, the American auto industry remains the backbone of our economy. U.S. automakers are leading the world in developments in research, innovation, and technology, and there is something new in the air. For those of you who don't know me, I spent 30 years, more than 30 years, in the auto industry before coming to Congress. I'm a car girl, and I'm proud of it. I can tell you that thanks to the rise of autonomous vehicles, there's never been a more exciting time in this industry. We're watching it transform from the auto industry to the mobility industry. Here in Michigan, business, academia, and federal, state, and local governments are all working together to test, develop, and deploy self-driving vehicles. In my district alone, M-City and the world-class American Center for Mobility at Willow Run, which is now open for business, are reshaping the future of mobility. With the autonomous revolution, we have an opportunity to improve safety, save lives, and reshape American innovation for decades to come. And today, it is my pleasure to introduce my good and dear friend and distinguished leader who is a tremendous partner in this effort, the United States Secretary of Transportation, Elaine Chao. This is Elaine's second cabinet position. From 2001 to 2009, she served as the U.S. Secretary of Labor, the first Asian American woman to serve in the cabinet in United States history. Now, Elaine and I are not old, we are seasoned. I've known her for more than 30 years, and we were very young when we first met, and we're still young. And I know few people more passionate about their work or knowledge of their field than Elaine Chao. She is uniquely qualified for her current position because of her extensive experience in the transportation sector. Previously, she served as the Deputy Secretary of Transportation, Chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission, and Deputy Maritime Administrator. In fact, she began her executive career in government as a White House Fellow. In addition to safety and infrastructure, Secretary Chao, and I really want to make clear, I know that for Elaine, the safety for the consumer is the #1 important issue for her at all times. She's made encouraging innovation one of the department's top 3 priorities. She's a firm believer in working collaboratively with all stakeholders to create policies that are relevant, tech-neutral, and help ensure that our country remains a global technology leader. One area we both strongly agree on is the tremendous potential of autonomous vehicles to reduce congestion on our roads, improve mobility for seniors and those with disability, and reduce the 35,000 deaths we see every year on the roadways, 94%, which is tied to human error. This has been a key focus for Secretary Chao during her time at the Department of Transportation, In September, we welcomed her to Ann Arbor, where she announced the new federal automated vehicle policy, a new guidance document for the development of automated vehicles. Now, she could have made that announcement in any place, Washington or Silicon Valley, but she made it here in Michigan at M-City Ann Arbor, because we still are the center of the auto universe, and we're going to keep it that way. So it's very critical that we all set our differences aside and continue to work together to move this exciting technology forward, and we are very, very fortunate to have a leader in the Secretary of Transportation. So without further ado, please join me, now let's hear the music, in welcoming Secretary of Transportation, Elaine Chao.
Well, it's a great pleasure to join you today at the North American International Auto Show. This is an amazing event, and the vehicles on display are a wonderful combination of technological excellence, innovation, and artistic design. Many say that America has a love affair with the automobile. It's a symbol of personal freedom, the ability to go wherever you want, whenever you want. And it has provided point-to-point transportation from the front door to the factory floor and many other destinations. And this has been going on for more than a century. And if the Detroit Auto Show is any indication, the American love affair with the automobile is still going strong. But as we all know, transportation is on the verge of the most significant transformation since the introduction of the automobile. Automated or self-driving vehicles are about to change the way we travel and connect with one another. This technology has tremendous potential to enhance safety. Automated vehicles have some advantages over vehicles with drivers. They have faster reaction time, 360-degree vision, and they can see at night. On the other hand, people are much better at providing context to driving situations. One of the notable aspects about automated vehicle technology is the potential to reduce the risk of driver error, as you have heard. Today, 94% of traffic accidents involve driver error. In fact, traffic fatalities have been increasing for the last 2 years to over 37,000 people in 2016. Once a sufficient percentage of vehicles are automated, this risk will decrease. The risk will focus less on drivers and more on software. So automated vehicles hold the promise not only of improving safety, but increasing mobility for so many people. And their capacity to increase mobility for our elderly and for people with disabilities could provide millions with security, freedom, and a better quality of life. The Department of Transportation has a vital role to play in shaping the future of this technology. So this afternoon, let me share some thoughts about this administration's approach to transportation innovation and the benefits and challenges that it holds. First, the public and the private sectors have an obligation to lead by safely developing, testing, and integrating this new technology into our transportation systems. We've got to work together to ensure that our country retains its preeminent position as a global technology leader. Second, many have concerns about the safety, security, and privacy of autonomous vehicle technologies. And a recent AAA survey found that 78% of Americans surveyed are afraid to ride in a driverless car. If you refer to it as a self-driving car, the anxiety drops a little bit, but there's still anxiety. So there are legitimate public concerns that must be addressed before this technology can reach its full potential in our society. There's an additional concern about the disruptive nature of this technology and its impact on jobs. As a former Secretary of Labor, this concerns me greatly. In the long term, new technologies will create new jobs. It'll be a different kind of job, different categories of jobs. But the new technologies in the long term, I believe, will create jobs, new and different kinds of jobs. But the transition period can be very difficult for dislocated workers. So it's really important to help those workers who are impacted adapt to this new world. And that's why I'm so pleased to see that AutomobiliD is holding its first Future Automotive Career Exposition at this year's show. This partnership with the Michigan Economic Development Cooperative and Cooperation, I actually know the corporation. I've worked with them when I was head of United Way. So it's a great cooperation. So this joint venture will give qualified candidates an opportunity to meet with vendors who have jobs to offer. I really appreciate this forward-looking approach that links workers with jobs in demand. And then finally, at the U.S. Department of Transportation, as the Congresswoman Debbie Dingell mentioned, safety will always be our #1 priority. And that is why a key part of the department's mission is to cultivate and encourage innovation in safety by eliminating unnecessary obstacles to the development and integration of new technology. Our approach will be tech neutral, flexible, not top-down, and not command and control. The department will not be in the business of picking winners or losers or favoring one type of technology over another. The department also prefers to avoid a patchwork of different approaches by encouraging interoperability of standards and consistent rules while respecting the role of state and local governments. So let me also emphasize that intermodalism is another key part of the department's approach to infrastructure. Our goal is to encourage the development of a wide variety of safe transportation options so that communities and individuals can choose the mix that suits them best. This administration is especially concerned that transportation policy be inclusive and address the needs of rural as well as urban areas. We hear a lot about smart cities, and that's great, but not everyone lives downtown. And it's worth noting that rural America accounts for a disproportionately large share of highway fatalities. So automated technology, automated driving technologies, driving systems have an important role to play in rural mobility and safety as well. So let me mention 3 new initiatives that the department has launched to encourage innovation. First, On September 12, 2017, the Department of Transportation published new voluntary guidelines for the safe testing and integration of autonomous vehicles. It is called Automated Driving Systems 2.0, A Vision for Safety. You can get this booklet on www.dot.gov and also in hard copy. It looks something like this. This technology is changing so fast that a multimodal version, AV 3.0, is already in the works. We welcome your input. Look for it to be released sometime this summer. And as I mentioned, AV 3.0 will include guidance for more than just automobiles. It will address barriers to the safe integration of autonomous technology for motor carriers, trucks, transit, infrastructure, and other modes as well. The department will update this guidance as often as needed. That's part of our commitment to streamline the process and to keep pace with innovation. Let me note that AV 3.0 will preserve the voluntary safety assessment letters. And let me encourage those who are interested and choose to participate to publish these letters. NHTSA is currently developing a dashboard that will allow the public to view the letters that are voluntarily published. And let me emphasize that these letters are important. They're voluntary, and I think we can all learn a lot from them. Second new initiative. On January 10th, the department published the first 4 of a series of notices requesting information and comments from across the transportation industry to identify barriers to innovation. I want you to look for them on DOT's website and in the Federal Register. One is from NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, and it asks for insights regarding regulatory barriers to autonomous vehicles. 2 are from the Federal Transit Administration and address AV bus technology and barriers. And the 4th is from the Federal Highway Administration and addresses the infrastructure technology for AVs. None of us know the future, but we are looking for insights that can help the department and the government better understand how this technology will evolve. And the remaining requests for information will be published, as I mentioned, in the Federal Register. Right now, there are many transportation rules, terms, and concepts that may no longer apply to an automated world. And the requests for inputs will help the department and the government identify which regulations, parts of regulations, or terminology that need to be updated to allow for innovation to move forward. Within the last several days, last Thursday, in fact, General Motors filed a petition with NHTSA requesting an exemption to have a limited number of autonomous vehicles operate in a controlled ride-share program. Many existing motor vehicle standards were designed to apply to vehicles with conventional drivers, controls like the steering wheel, gas, and brake pedals. Well, this petition states that it would use automated vehicles with no human drivers and no human driver controls. So it is not an exaggeration to suggest that these technological developments are happening very quickly. The department will view this petition and give it responsible and careful consideration. This automaker also published a voluntary safety assessment letter, which helps increase public awareness about how these vehicles are designed to operate safely. Third initiative. the department has launched a safety data initiative to provide stakeholders with better and more usable safety data. This is an important resource for designing and evaluating the safety of automated driving systems. The department currently maintains nearly 800 different sets of transportation data. The Safety Data Initiative will integrate key safety databases and use visualization tools to put them into formats that are far more accessible and useful to stakeholders. And that is important because data science is rapidly transforming the auto industry. OEMs are investing significant resources hiring data scientists and computer engineers. It is truly a unique time for the automotive industry as new technologies are integrated into vehicles. These are just 3 recent new initiatives to spur innovation and increase safety, and there are more to come. All of you here today are part of our country's innovation economy, one of the most powerful drivers of opportunity and job creation in the world. You are the vanguard of a transportation future that will be safer, more accessible, and more efficient. The gains in mobility from automated technology will help our country remain competitive and create a better quality of life and brighter future for so many. So let me challenge all of you to step up and educate the public more fully about the tremendous potential and benefits of this new technology. Now, before I close, I want to give a shout out to Fiat Chrysler Automobile, which just announced on Friday that it will invest $1 billion. $1 billion. Chrysler Fiat will invest $1 billion in its Warren truck assembly plant less than half an hour from here. It will relocate production of the next generation Ram heavy-duty truck from Mexico to Michigan, hiring 2,500 new American workers. In addition, the company announced that thanks to the savings generated by the tax reform proposal that was just passed, 60,000 hourly and salaried employees in the U.S. will receive a special $2,000 bonus. This is just one example of the positive impact that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will have on workers, job creators, employers, and our country. So I'm so delighted to be here in the hub of so much exciting and economic activity, and I want to urge you to work with us as we approach this new future of transportation technology. Together, we can ensure that no one is left behind in the transportation revolution and that our country remains a world leader in innovation and job creation. Thank you so much. Have a great conference.